I'm Trent Algayer, filmmaker. And when I was in high school, I attended a house show that would change pretty much everything for me. This band called Garage Sale. Me and my friend would sit around and talk about how they were the best high school band we'd ever heard. Then they changed their name, and they broke up. Then they started a new band called Cheyenne Dan, and we thought that that was the best college band we'd ever heard. Then, of course, those guys graduated and all got real jobs, and I was left with nothing. Right when I was about to lose hope, I'm scrolling the interwebs. I see one of the ex-Cheyenne Dan members playing with some new dudes. Thought they sounded pretty good. Asked if they wanted to play at our house. All they needed was a name, and what they went with was Monstertruck Firetruck.
No, John, I think it's okay in the corner. We'll just let's go through like a couple hours.
Queens, and I was flipping through magazines. I was so starving. I was reading ingredients, asking myself, should I eat this? I was so starving. I was scratching off silver ink. I was debating what to drink. I was so starving. I was swimming through magazines. I was walking through with the dreams. I was so
You got a lighter?
Did you not find one?
No, right here. I have looked through there. If you want to check. I got you a lighter. Hey.
Ooh. Score.
The first band I joined, I was in 8th grade, and they were called Mumbling Lucy, which is still one of my favorite band names of all the ones that I've been in.
No, I was in middle school. It was Project Wasteland. I played bass, actually. And then I was 14 at the time. We had a 28-year-old drummer. And he was addicted to cough syrup too, but we're not gonna get it. It was a very weird situation.
I started in a band called Deadline Tuesday. We picked that name because we needed to have a name by Tuesday. And someone was like, all right, so the deadline is Tuesday. And we were like, hold up.
Like, no joke, this is my first band. I've never been in a band before this band.
I work in IT, so I fix computers and I set up computers.
I work in procurement, which I hate to say because it sounds very, very lame, but it's like buying stuff for the government. So
I am an accountant at a sports memorabilia and pop culture auction house.
I work at a bank. I'm a teller. So I just do everything an ATM does for people who don't want to figure out how an ATM works.
And we were getting ready for our first show at your house, actually, at your old place, and at the Chum Bucket. And we needed a name. And so it came down to Monstertruck Firetruck, or the Chads was the other option, and we took a vote.
Did anyone vote for the Chads?
I voted for the Chads. I'll fully admit, I was the guy that voted for the Chads. I'm wrong.
Bugs from a body's head.
idea for a song, and it goes like called the Spiders song. And so it's like, spiders, da da da, spiders, da da da, spiders, da da da, spiders, da da da.
Alright, yep.
We're gonna parallel.
Like got subbed on and in like 5 minutes. You gotta give them through. I was like, yeah.
I love that. So play that. Spiders! Spiders! We should play that again. I think for the end part, when I'm doing spiders, 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 creepy crawly eyes, I got pop legs, about a spiders. The college band that I had, I didn't like have my life figured out, so there's a lot of pressure to, you know, like people say, you know, you want to like make a career out of it or like, you know, do it full time. And I like didn't have my life figured out. It sounded like a much better alternative to like working a job. And it put a lot of pressure on me, like on myself, and it was like not really fun. So I'm not really worried about any of that. You know, I'm just worried about practicing more and like getting as tight a show as we can have, and then getting recordings that convey the live show.
Like if you have a crowd of like 10 people, but they're all like really hyped for your show and they're like getting into it, it's like much better than a crowd of like 50 people who's just standing there going like that or just not even moving. Like sometimes I don't want to get into a pit, like I'm tired, I'm like, I don't want to do all that. But it's just like, at least just move a little bit, you know?
There's some times where it's like a good show for you, but it's not a good show. And then there's times where it's not a good show for you, but it's a good show.
Getting people to sing along, like that's always been the dream, you know, to just go somewhere and have people there who know your songs and are into it. That's what makes it a good show.
This is something that I really, really enjoy about Monstertruck Firetruck, and it's something that I don't know if I've ever had on like this level, is like 4 people who are like completely bought into the project. A lot of other bands I've been in, it's like, you know, you shoot a text, you're like, all right, we got practice on this day. We got, you know, this thing on this day. And you get one guy that responds in 10 minutes and one guy that responds in 3 hours and one guy you gotta, you know, ask him to reply 5 times. And then he's like, yeah, I can practice on Wednesday. Because that's one of, I think, the hardest things is like putting in the effort and then not having people reciprocate that or like match that level.
You know, you come to the practice and you bring the Play-Doh, and then together everyone kind of molds it into something that's cool.
I don't learn rudiments to get better. I just try to play faster. So just like, you know, I just want the stuff to be fast and heavy, and that's what I can contribute. I can't really contribute anything else, but that's what I do. Every time we're playing, I'm like, we should play it faster.
Yeah, so it's all balanced. It's like working with any group of people, but you're working with them all the time, and then 3 of us live together on top of it.
How could you say that on the telephone? You know that I'm not right for you. There's something in your eyes I do despise. Don't get it twisted. Lately there's been something in the distance that says that you don't want to miss this. So whoa, whoa, Frankie O'Malley, you gotta clean up all the things you can. You know you gotta fight the man. Think about the life that you've been living.
Alright, so we're trying to do 3 songs today, right?
Yeah.
That's the goal? Okay, cool.
No. Whoa. I am a robot.
But every time I do, it's like I'm running on empty. And every time it's you, it's like I'm running on empty. Ba-ba-ba-da-da-bum. Ba-ba-ba-da-da-bum. Ba-ba-ba-da-da-bum.
Ba-ba-da-doo-ba. Ba-ba-ba-da-doo-ba. I could see you guys start cracking up like through the window. Ba-ba-ba-da-doo-ba.
He was sentenced to a trauma. Okay, I'm done.
I'd have to look. Yeah. That's such a good song, though.
Should I mute the game?
Just like
Probably,
this,
yeah.
whatever you're doing, fuck yeah, you know. No idea what this means, but so.
There's some days it's so boring that I wish we'd get robbed. You got them bogaronis?
I do have bogaroni.
Should we?
could have a bogaroni. Yeah, I have a bogaroni right now.
I had a thought when we were doing that we should try, like, you know how we do, like, some of our songs when we're fucking around, like, in slower styles and shit, and, like, other variations and beats? We should try that with the intro for some shit, and then try the variations. I like Monstertrucks. And I like fire trucks.
Keep it going. I like monster trucks. And I like fire trucks. And I like monster trucks. And I like fire trucks. Okay, the worst part of being in a band is when everyone isn't aligned and on the same page. When there's like conflict of interests or not everyone wants to go in the same direction, that can be tough if not everyone wants to be there.
You know, you feel it if guys if you haven't slept, if it's like a long night, if you're at the end of a practice, you can feel it where it's just like, sometimes the tensions go. And I think we've gotten good at feeling out like, okay, let's not press it right now. Let's wrap for tonight. This isn't it. And then occasionally, like, I think we've worked out over time, guys will sometimes back down on their ideas and like get a little less headstrong and listen to democracy. And then other times they'll just stick to it. And then sometimes they'll pick that hill to die on. And they're right sometimes.
From the amount of people I know that like aren't in bands and I'm friends with, and like the way that like I talk with them and stuff, but I don't think that they have any idea like how much of a time commitment it is and like how much work and effort goes into it.
Especially if you're in multiple bands, like you got to practice weekly if you want to like be good enough to like keep doing stuff. If you're recording music, like when you record something, it's like not playing live where you can screw up and it's like okay because it's live and everyone's drunk and no one cares. Like you need to like get it good enough to be on a recording.
What do you want your relationship with music to be when you're like 50 or 60?
Definitely ripping covers in a bar band.
If I have a wife and kids, I definitely like am gonna just like get drunk and like show them photos of me playing out when I was 25 and like, hey, look at me, I was cool back then. So like, I don't think I'm still gonna be playing music. Obviously, like, I'll still be able to play drums and guitar and whatnot. I don't think I'll be playing live or something though, but like, legitimately, I think about it, I'm like, I'm young now, like, I got nothing holding me down. Like, I can go out on weekends and suffer, and it's not like a bad thing yet because I'm not that old. I'm getting there, but I'm not that old yet. So it's just like, I wanna be able to remember, be like, that was fun as fuck, you know? Cause like, I don't think I'm gonna be playing at that point. Maybe like a cover band who plays bars.
There's like a certain like amount of time you get to really like make music and put out your own music and perform shows and be like a part of like the DIY scene. And I want to be able to look back and know that like I did that as much as I could because I love doing that.
I mean, for like doing what we do, I think it's important to not have any delusions about what can come out of it. I know people who are playing in like not necessarily punk bands, but I have people playing in like heavier bands that are touring and like they look like they're killing it, but it's like they're not. You don't make a living singing about monster trucks and fire trucks.
I like the Beatles. What the fuck was that?
Dude, why did you try to kiss me?
Everyone feel good about that one?
Yeah. I feel good about that one.
You happy with them?
No. It was funny seeing I kind of felt great about it. I don't know if we're gonna beat it. Should we do one more?
Monstertruck Firetruck! Monstertruck Firetruck! Monstertruck Firetruck!
When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. Firetruck! Let hear that whistle. 2 pints of booze. Tell me, are you a bad fish too? Are you a bad fish too? Ain't got no